It's today we're talking about multimodality. So, um, just by attending this session, you're becoming a leader in the AI marketing world. Now is the time to join the Click Pro. If you're not in the Click Pro, go to jointheclick.ai and join up. It's $348 for an entire year of training in AI, and I'm piling a ton of value in there. If you're brand new, you want to take the AI marketing jumpstart first, then the AI powered marketer, then the AI marketing hub. And after that, start attending all of these live sessions that we're doing. And you're going to find that your marketing skills and efficiency is going to ramp up. So today, just a reminder that when I do these tool whip arounds, I'm working with no net. That means the tools are going to do crazy things like they always do. The first time I did this whip around training, I had so many tools and files and stuff open that my computer just kind of wonked out on me a couple of times. I hope that doesn't happen today, but it could because I have a lot to cover. So the big idea here is when we talk about multimodality, is that really that is becoming this magic wand, and we can use it to conjure things. We can use it to create things with almost like we have a magic wand. And what I've been telling people is don't worry about this AI thing taking your job. This is a massive opportunity for you, particularly if you're a creative person, because you can do this magic wand thing where you're going to be able to create things and do things with just efficiency like you've never seen before. And I'm going to demonstrate a lot of that today. And we're going to play around. I'm going to give you access to a whole bunch of assets that you can use to play around and do this with me today or do it after. If you're a member of the Click Pro, you can just go and watch the recording and so you could just sit and watch today if you want, and then you could go do all of the things that I'm doing with the assets that I'm going to give you, however you want to handle it. Um, but let's talk quickly about the different ways that AI is evolving and that will continue into 2025. We will continue to see evolution of AI in these 8 areas. So right now, I mean, AI is everywhere from incompetent at certain things to incredibly efficient and competent, could do it better than a Nobel Prize winner in that particular cognitive activity. There are things that can do better than a Nobel Prize winner, and there's things that basically cannot do at all. Is completely incompetent at doing it, and that's what the whip around is about. It's about pushing around on these tools and seeing what they're capable of. But when we think about how AI is changing, it's not just in the area of it getting smarter. That is just one element of how AI is evolving. What I'm telling you is that even if these models get no smarter than they are today, which no one thinks is happening, everybody thinks that they're going to keep getting more intelligent. But let's just say for a second that they stay at the same level of intelligence, they are still going to completely disrupt business and marketing. Okay. And the reason is that there are 7 other ways that these models are continuing to evolve. Um, there were all kinds of interesting announcements over the last week or so because both Google, particularly, and OpenAI were trying to sort of one up each other on the different things that they were releasing right at the end of the year. Um, Okay, so these different ways that AI evolves is in the areas of usability. So how useful is it in terms of like, when we first got started, this was the beginning of this year, 2024, these models were basically you would go into a chat bot and you would say text in and it would give you text back out. So text in, text out, text in, text out. Well, that's not extremely usable. I mean, it was amazing to watch what it was able to do when you would give it text and it would give you text back. You would like jaw dropping, right? But quickly you start to realize this isn't a very good experience, right? It's not super user friendly. So since then we've gotten access to AI on our phones. We're able to speak to the AI. We're able, and I'm going to show you a bunch of stuff today, but the old model of in the original model of text in, text out in a chatbot, that is changing and is going to change. That is not, text in, text out chatbots is not what AI is. AI is an underlying system, right? It's an underlying level of intelligence, and they're building different usability function, UX, user experience and user interface on the top of it. And a lot has changed even over this last year. I'll save this next one because we're going to focus here today, multimodality. But then you have customizability, which is the ability to give the AI context and customization. In other words, can I give it files that it will understand and put it in its knowledge base? Can I change how the AI operates, at a global level? That's customizability. Then you have reliability, like how are is the AI evolving in terms of hallucination, which is when the AI just makes stuff up, and things are improving there, and they are spending billions and billions of dollars to try to solve this reliability issue, and it keeps getting better. It keeps evolving. Security is one, like how secure are the files that you're uploading? Like what files are you willing to upload into a ChatGPT or a Claude or a Gemini right now? And do you feel like that is secure, right? And right now, I would tell you, don't upload anything that you don't want that you don't want OpenAI or Google or whatever to have access to right now. I just don't feel like these open models are super secure or that are trustworthy in that way. Um, that said, you can do a ton of stuff with the AI with data and information that's not sensitive. Then you have memory. Okay, so memory is the AI's ability to remember the context of any single conversation, right? And does it remember it tomorrow? And does it remember it the next day? And does this chat thread remember what you said over in this chat thread? Like how does memory work and how is it organized and how big is it? So uh, two of the most respected people that are working on AI are telling us that probably by the end of next year, there will be no limitation on the amount of information that an AI can remember from any session or across days, weeks, months, or years, that they are going to remove this memory limitation. That is a big deal, like a big, big deal. Because as you're going to see today, there is a limit to the amount of data that it can absorb and talk about. There's a limit to the length of the conversation that you can have with it before it starts to forget things. So memory is a big one, and then autonomy. So next month, I believe we are going to the AI tool whip around will be about autonomy and where are each of these models in terms of the ability to do autonomous, make decisions, go out and take multiple actions on your behalf, in some cases without having to any intervention from a human, right? That is its ability to be autonomous. And this is what we would call agentic AI or AI agents, right? Where are we with AI agents? Is something as marketers and business people we need to be watching very, very closely. And then, of course, the last one's intelligence. They keep getting smarter. The models get a little more intelligent all the time. Like this is just a screenshot of some benchmark data. Whatever all of this means, like what they're doing is they're measuring the AI's capabilities in terms of intelligence across a lot of different baseline data and benchmark data. So, eight different ways that AI is evolving, and I'm going to give you access to these slides so you can go through these, some of this stuff on memory and stuff if you like on your own. But I want to focus today on AI tool multimodality. So multimodality, the thing is that when we're in the trenches doing business work, doing marketing work, we are working with content. We are working with text, we're working with images, we're working with video, we're working with audio, we're working with data, we're working with code, right? So there's a lot of different ways that a marketer works with content or copy or whatever. So we work with this stuff all day long, and where all of these AI models are going and they are working diligently on. Remember, I always say the smartest or the most wealthy people in the world are paying the smartest people in the world to figure these things out. And where they are all going is completely multimodal AI. So what does that mean? So when we think about the different ways you can put information into an AI and the way that the AI can give you information back, we call those inputs and outputs. So remember, I said at the beginning of the year, if you think about it, we were really at a text in, text out chatbot situation. We had the ability to do some text in, images out, right? So Dolly was launched, Midjourney's been around for a long time. So you could put text in and an image out. But that was kind of it, right? That was the modalities that the AI was capable of. Today, where we've evolved quite a bit over the course of 2024 in terms of what the models are able to do with text, images, video, audio, code, and data. So that's what we're focusing on today. I want to look at where are the three major models, ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini, when it comes to generative AI inputs and outputs, text to image, text to video, image to audio, like whatever it is, right? Like code, data, what can it take in and what can it put back out? We're going to play around with this as marketers, right? So the click is all about marketing and business and entrepreneurship. So we are not interested in anything else that the AI can do, whether it's in your personal life or all of that other stuff. We are really focused on marketing in this membership. And so everything I'm going to be playing around with today are real marketing scenarios that you might find yourself in where you're going to want to leverage AI and you might start to think like, I wonder if the AI can do that, right? Can it help me with that? So the other thing I want to talk about is different types of features that are very related to multimodality. So, depending on how you define multimodality, a lot of people just define it as inputs and outputs. But I also want to bring in the idea because as business people and marketers, we care about the different features that these AIs have. These are really more usability features. So when I think about features, I think these are some really important ones that we need to be looking at with AI systems as they continue to evolve. So you have vision, voice, web connectivity, the ability to build applications, and then tuning. All right. So we're going to look at some of these things today. Like, can your AI see things? Can it see? Does it have eyes? Can you talk to it? Can it talk back to you? This unlocks different capabilities and use cases for AI in business and marketing. Web connectivity, can it access the internet reliably, right? And find information that's more current rather than just relying on whatever it ingested. You remember when AI launched, they would say it doesn't know anything after this date, right? Whatever date that was, like it moved and moved and moved. And what that means is that the AI went and trained on a bunch of data and then it stopped, like it was a cutoff. So it was a snapshot of data or a snapshot, let's just say to keep it simple, a snapshot of the internet that it had in its mind. And because it wasn't able to access the live internet, anything after that it didn't know. So today those restrictions in some models have been removed and in other models they haven't been removed. That's still a problem in some systems. So the ability to build applications is pretty much contained to one system, in my opinion. I'll show you that. And then the ability to tune the AI. Can you customize the AI? Can you um, add context and customization to the AI? So we're going to look at all of that kind of stuff today. We're just going to be playing around with tools. And what I want to give you as another big idea. So you've got this big idea, which is that AI is a magic wand, right? You can use it to cast spells and you can use it to conjure and create things because you're working with this intelligence that works at lightning speed. The other big idea I want to be talking about is what data are you bringing to the AI party? Okay, so this is an important question. What are you bringing into the system for the AI to interact with? And that is a lot of what we're going to be doing today. We're going to bring things into the AI and then let it do its magic wand thing that it does. But what you should really be understanding is that if you're having a conversation with an AI and you're not bringing any data to the party, so you're not bringing any, you'll see what I mean by that. If you don't understand what I mean by that, I'm going to show you all of the different things we could bring into an AI today. That's part of understanding multimodality. Uh, but always be thinking about what could I bring into the system for it to understand and get more out of this AI. So, what is today's task in the whip around? It's to learn the multimodal capabilities of ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. And if you want to play along today, you're going to go to jointheclick.ai/121824 or 121824. That's today's date. And that will open up a folder for you. And when that folder opens, you'll see this folder right here. Okay. So let me get out of my slides. Coming down with a little bit of something. I don't know what it is. I hope it's not going to stay with me for the holidays, but I'm getting like sinuses going and stuff. All right. So inside this folder, you're going to find today's slides. So the slides from today, if you want those slides, you go to jointheclick.ai/121824. Uh, and that'll redirect you into this folder. But the other things that you're going to find in there is a bunch of assets that we're going to play around with today. And you'll see that I have one asset for each multimodal capability. We have text, image, audio, video, code, and data. All right. So that maps back to our multimodal capabilities here: text, image, video, audio, code, data. And you have one of each. And so what you can do from here is you can just go off in your own little sandbox there and just play with these tools using these assets. Okay. And you can watch me play around with the tools today, but then, one of the problems with playing with AI is that no one tells you how to play with it. No one teaches you how to play with it. That's what the click is all about. Like, I'm going to show you things that you can do, and then I want you to go play yourself. Like, go play around with the tools. Use the assets that I have here so that it's easy for you to play around because the assets are just right there. So this is what I mean when I say bring data to the AI party. So these are different files and different things that we can play around with. So let's go through each one super quickly so that I don't have to keep explaining. So pay attention here. I don't want to have to stop each time I open a new tool and bring in a new file. I just want to show you the files one time so that every time I use one of those files, you'll know what I'm working with. So the first one is a text file, and it's this guy here. So this is just a PDF file. It's a transcript of a video. And all I did here was, I was looking at this video here about quantum computers, and I thought, wow, this is something I need to know, right? So I was watching this video from the guy at Gemini or guy at Google.
2012. And let me tell you why this is so intriguing. Today's computers.
So it's an interesting video. And all I did here was I went here down into the more, and I went down to show transcript here. And then I copied the transcript. I just copied all of that and I pasted it into a file and I created a PDF document here. And that is what this text file is. It is a transcript of this video here. So I'm going to go ahead and close this video because I have the transcript here. So this is our example of text that we're going to use. So text, let's look at image. So from an image standpoint, I want to use as an asset, I want to use this opt-in page. This is from a company called Benchmark, who sells email marketing software. And this is one of their lead generation pages. So this Benchmark lead gen page is the image. Now let's look at audio. So from an audio standpoint, I've just got a audio file of me teaching something, which was our 20, maybe you attended this. It's 2025 marketing planning using ChatGPT. It's an hour and a half training on how to use ChatGPT for 2025 marketing planning. That's if you're a Click Pro member, that is in the AI marketing sandbox uh, course. You can go watch that if you want to, but this is the transcript for it. And, we're going to use this file. It's not the transcript, it's the audio recording of it. I don't know why it's not playing though.
Training is
There it
about.
goes.
It is why I said.
So that's not me talking.
Big training right here to understand this concept. You're going to see me leverage it today.
So this is just an audio file, an M4A file, and that's in your folder as well. Then we have a video file. So let's look real quickly at the video file we're going to play with. So that is this guy. This is just a short 30-second video that I clipped out.
Most marketers are only using 20% of what AI can do. They're using that create capability. They think AI is here to write my copy, it's here to write articles, it's here to create things. When in reality, this is its weakest capability right now. It's going to keep getting better at this, and it's actually really quite good at creating things. But organizing, researching, and evaluating is definitely more its strength.
Okay, so just a quick 28-second video that I clipped out of a webinar that I did about the core capabilities of AI. So that's our video that we're going to be playing around with. And I'm going to go ahead and close QuickTime before it crashes my computer because it's a hefty guy. Then we have code. So I want to look at code. And so for code, I've got a screenshot of this website block right here that comes from this website. So these guys, Zero, this is who I use for my accounting software. And this is just a block on their website. I took a screenshot of that, and that is our code, our example that we're going to be using to demonstrate code. You'll see what I mean by that when I get there. And then the last one is data. So for data, you have an Excel file that contains the sales information for a wine shop. All right. So it has the customer number, the customer name, gender, age, education, marital status. And then how much wine did this person buy? How much craft beer did this person buy? How much spirits, cheese, and what was their total sales over the period here? Are they in our wine club? Did they attend our wine tasting event? So is this just a data set that we can play around with from a wine shop? And you've got the Excel file for that. Okay, so close that and that and that and that and that. Okay. So are you ready to play around with some multimodality? Give me a yes or no in the chat. So let's start with good. All right, cool. So let's start with text. Okay, so the three tools that I want to be looking at is ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini, which I access through what's called AI Studio. So you can go to aistudio.google.com. I think this is the best way to play around with Gemini is through what's called AI Studio. Um, so that's how I'm going to be accessing. And these are the three tools that I want to look at. So let's start with our text file. So remember that the text file is a transcript of a YouTube video about quantum computing. So if I go over into ChatGPT and I bring this data to the party, right? So I bring my transcript in, just drag it in there. So here's my YouTube video transcript. Remember, this is a TED talk about quantum computing. The first thing I typically do is I test the AI's understanding. Did it really see this file? And the way I do that is I just say, hey, summarize this video. So I'll just say, summarize this video. This is me testing the AI to see if it really does see what's in here. Okay, so if it just made something up or it was confused, I would be like, okay, you're not working super well, right? Like, and but you can see that it went ahead and read this transcript and then it kind of rolled this out for me. Now, if I go over to Claude, I could do the same thing. I can bring in this YouTube transcript and I can say, hey, summarize this video. And all these systems should be pretty dang good at understanding what's going on inside of this PDF. It's text, right? So it's pretty much its native format or modality is text. And then over here in Gemini, let's see if I can drag in here. I usually So this is using Gemini's newest model called 2.0 Flash, and I'm going to show you some cool stuff with 2.0 Flash today. But 2.0 Flash is the brand new model that was announced like a week ago. So again, I'm going to ask it to summarize the content of this transcript. What I like about AI Studio is it's telling me my token count over here. Remember I told you that memory is a thing, right? How much memory can something remember? Well, this Gemini model has the largest memory or context window available at, right here I'm at 1 million tokens and I'm using 7,211 tokens so far, right? So I can kind of keep an eye on how much memory I've used and whether or not it's starting to forget things. And it will forget the earliest things first. It will forget the beginning of the conversation as it starts to as its memory starts to expire. But you can see I'm using 7,200 tokens out of a million tokens here. But again, this one nailed it as well. And then I might follow up and say something like, I want to share this on LinkedIn. Write me a quick post. Yeah, so and I can run this in any model, and they're all going to be pretty dang capable of doing this. Now, if you've gone through the Click Pros AI Marketing Hub training, and you've trained the AI on your brand voice and all of that stuff, then you could, again, you might say something like, write, rewrite this using my brand voice. and it would do that because you've got your AI marketing hub in place, and that hub understands your brand voice, like that particular version of ChatGPT. If you haven't gone through the AI marketing hub training, you should do that right away. If you haven't, if you're a Click Pro member, go ahead and go through that training because you can see like I can have it summarize that video for me and then help me write a LinkedIn post and get me about 80 to 90% there. And then I can go and edit that thing and then post it to LinkedIn. So, okay, so that's text. Let's go on to images. Okay, so as a marketer, how do we use images with AI? And again, because it's image, all three of these systems are going to do a pretty good job of of this. Okay, so I'm just going to demonstrate. I'm gonna go to Claude for this. Okay, so let's go to Claude and let's bring our image in. Remember, the image is this. It's this quick start guide to email marketing. This is an opt-in page for Benchmark, right? So this is the quick start guide to email marketing. And I took a screenshot of this client's opt-in page. And I might take it over into ChatGPT. And in this case, I'm going to go into my AI marketing hub. If you don't have an AI marketing hub, because you haven't gone through that training in the Click Pro, don't worry about it. Just do it in any system. Do this in Gemini, do this in Claude, do this in ChatGPT outside of a custom GPT. But just drag that image in here. And again, it can see this image. So the AI has the ability to see this image, but I'm going to test it and I'm going to say, summarize this image. This is just me saying, do you really see that image? Because I want to know if you see it. So there's nothing in here that leads me to believe that it actually saw this image. You can see that it's saying the page likely has a prominent and clear headline. It likely has that. So I'm going to say like, I don't know. Did you really see that? I might say, what is the headline? And now it's saying, since I cannot directly read the text from this image, so it's, again, I told you this is no net here, but these are the kinds of things that come up. If I go back out, so right now I'm inside of my AI marketing hub, and it might be causing it trouble. So I'm going to go out to ChatGPT 4.0, which is just regular ChatGPT, and drag it in over here and see if something changes. But again, that this question, I use this kind of thing all the time, where and this time it's seeing it, right? So it's seeing it here. Benchmarks quick start guide, free download, start sending better emails today. Yeah, so it sees it now, but because I don't want to jump in and just assume that it understands the content of whatever asset that I brought in, whether it's a video, piece of audio, an image, a bunch of text. I will test its understanding of that file first so that if it's screwing up, I don't want to go have a big long conversation with it about that asset and then 10 minutes later figure out like it's really doesn't even understand the asset. It never saw it, right? So sometimes you have to force it to go look at it. So if I would have stayed inside that GPT, believe it or not, I might have been able to say, "Hey, go look at the image. You do have the capability of looking at that image. Go look at it." And maybe it would have done it, right? That's how weird these systems are. So it's looked at this. It's got the headline, the main offer. Now, another piece of context or customization I might want to bring in at this layer here would be the actual benchmark guide to email marketing. So this is the page to opt in for this resource called the Quick Start Guide, right? Another thing to add to the context of this conversation would be the actual guide itself. Like, go ahead and give it that. And you could ask it questions like, hey, help me rewrite this landing page so that's more compelling. Now, I'm going to say to it, like, um, let's work on the headline. Or actually, let's say, because I don't think there's a subhead. Yeah, there is a subhead. Get your email marketing strategy up and running in a few simple steps. Let's work on this real quickly and just say, let's work on the subhead. And I'm gonna say again, this is again just playing around with no net, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna I've never done I don't think I've ever done this before. I'm gonna say put the entire contents of this landing page into a canvas. So if you haven't seen Canvas, and I don't know if it's going to do this for me or not, but let's try it. Put the entire content of this landing page into a canvas. And here we go. So it's okay, it's going to do it for me. So it took the image, this image, and it's now putting it into something called Canvas. So Canvas is an extremely interesting new capability for marketers inside of ChatGPT um, that I love. Like I use it all day long. And this is just yet another way that I can use it now is to take a screenshot of something and say, hey, drop the copy into a canvas. Now that it's in Canvas, I can start to work with the copy. So I can work with it like it's a regular document. Like I can go over here and I can format this, give it a heading. But I can also edit things, right? Like I can say, um, like if I want to start making changes to the copy, I can do that, which is really cool. Like that I am able to work with the AI on the left and work with the document itself on the right with my own fingers, just like I would inside of Google Docs or Word Docs. But because now I have this document on the right and I've got this chat on the left, I'm going to say, let's work on that subheadline. First, I'm going to test its understanding real quick. What is the subhead? Let's see if it pulls that. I want it to pull that. All right, so it knew that. So now I'm going to say, give me 10 headline formulas I might use with to improve this subhead. So I'm working with the AI on the left, and then I've got the document on the right. This is a new way of interacting with documents. And where this is going in 2025, I think, is that you will be able to do this with spreadsheets and slides, like presentation slides, by the end of 2025, maybe even sooner than that, that you'll be able to work with spreadsheets and slides in this same way. But you can see that it's written me some headline formulas here, and I might say, um, write me 5 headlines using, um, let's just say number 8. So it's going to know what number 8 is. So it's going to say, it's going to write me a bunch of headlines using the beginner friendly formula because maybe I know that I'm going to run some new traffic to this web page and I want to emphasize because of the traffic source that I'm running this traffic from. I want to emphasize that it's good for beginners. So you can see that it's giving me some things and now I can start to um, I can say something like put number 2 into the canvas. And so it's going to push that over into here. It should. Again, we're playing with no net. So it's rewritten that. And now I can go over here and start to play with it and edit it and do my thing. Okay, so that's an image, right? So you can see how far and how quickly I'm able to start getting work done, real work, right? Get real work done. Like I know that I'm going to spend some time today working on this page, right? So I take a quick screenshot of the page, I drop it into ChatGPT, and I ask the AI, hey, put this copy into a canvas, and then I start working from top to bottom on this content, and start to rewrite this copy. And then when I'm finished, I can go and take that over to the web developer, whoever owns that page, and say, here's the new copy for this page. And I'm going to work with a combination of AI and my own brain, my own marketing brain, to kind of get this thing into its most ideal situation. Does that make sense? Are you seeing the power of multimodality here? That you take a quick screenshot and a couple of minutes later, you got a doc spun up and you've got the AI's intelligence plus your own intelligence working on this uh, this problem, which is let's make this page convert better for this client or for your own website. All right, let's move along to audio. Okay, so text, image, audio. So if we think about audio, audio is a still a problem for ChatGPT, for example. Let's go and start a new chat and let's try to put this audio file in here. I don't believe, I'm interested to see what it does. So this is an M4A format file. Now, one thing I could do with this audio is I could just send it into Otter or Rev or something and have it transcribed in the same way I did with the transcription, and it would then have the audio, right? Essentially. But these things are all problems that the AI companies are solving, right? Like they don't want you to have to transcribe the audio. They just want you to be able to drop the audio into the context of the thread and allow the AI to use it. But you can see that it looks like it uploaded this. I don't think, I'm curious to say, summarize the content of this audio. And let it think about that for a second. While it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and have Claude do the same thing. And there's limitations here. The AI cannot. So this one just goes ahead and tells you we don't support an M4A file. Basically, Claude does not support uh, audio files or video files for that matter. So no good here. And OpenAI's ChatGPT is basically lets you upload the file, but then it tells you I can't, like I can't do it. So now we're going to turn to Google. All right. So we go over to Google and let's go to create a prompt. And again, I'm at aistudio.google.com. This is how I interact with Gemini 99% of the time is through AI Studio. It's an interesting thing. You'll see me play with a couple of things towards the end here that I think are worth using AI Studio. And plus once you learn AI Studio, it's actually pretty simple, especially if you just think of it like a regular AI, because it is, but it also just has a lot of different bells and whistles that most of it you don't need to worry about. You just need to use the thing, but you can switch the model over here. Right now, you want to be using 2.0 Flash experimental. Let me just drop this audio file in here, and this system is going to be able to understand audio. So it's going to take a minute, and actually didn't take very long at all, did it? Or it's actually still doing something. So while it's doing that, I'm going to go and show you. Well, okay, it went ahead and did it. So you can see that this audio file, which is 90 minutes, 90 minutes, took up 177,000 tokens here. So, and this is just an audio file. If I was to try to upload 90 minutes of video into here, it would tell me like you've hit a memory limit. Like you can't put that much in here. Okay, so that's why the video file we're going to play with is only I think 30 seconds long. You could definitely use a video longer than that, but there is a limit, right? There's a context window limit. There is a memory limit that is going to go away, and most people that I respect in the AI world are telling us it's going to go away soon, right? We're not going to have these context window issues. But right now, you can see I'm using about 15% or more of the available memory for this conversation by adding this file. But okay, so this is a 1 hour and a half conversation or training that I did on building a 2025 marketing plan using ChatGPT. So I can ask it again, smart idea to say summarize, or I'm just going to go ahead and say create a detailed outline of this training in bullet form. And it's going to know that I'm referring to this asset. Remember, what data are you bringing to the party? So if you're working with a client that's doing webinars or whatever, right? You can take the audio from that webinar and you can pop it in here and you can start to work with it to create things, create assets, create social media content, create articles, all of that stuff using Gemini without having to take it over into a transcript and all this stuff. You can just take the audio right in there. And what's going to be interesting is to watch how this type of capability evolves. Like, am I going to be able to take this audio and create clips and have it export audio clips for me or video clips for me? Now, right now, I'm able to do that, but I have to use a third party tool. The one I use is called Descript, Descript. Descript does some stuff like this, but I think the AI systems are going to be able to do this fairly soon. Now, when I ask it to go ahead and create the outline, one of the things I might want to be doing is making sure that it's seeing, yeah, AI Studio, you can go and use this for free. It's just part of Google. Now, remember that Google is at a tremendous advantage here. And while everybody's talking about ChatGPT because they were the first mover, it's time to start paying really close attention to Google. It's time to start paying very close attention to Google because they are releasing some really, really cool stuff. And they don't need to necessarily charge us for it because they have a completely different business model than OpenAI has with ChatGPT. So it's an interesting thing to do is to go over. I think I told everybody that I my goal here has been to really dive into Gemini, and since I have, it's been very, very interesting. But it's building this whole thing out for me. And I'm going to go ahead and let it keep doing that. And while I'm doing that, let's skip along to code. All right. Now, when I'm working with code, it depends on how I'm working with code. I'm only going to show you, um, I'm only going to show you a couple of use cases here because we only have time for that. But like, I'm going to go into Claude for this. So Claude, I really like how Claude does something called artifacts. So remember that our little asset here for code is this image of a website block. So let's say I'm working and I'm like trying to build a new block for my website. Um, and I find this block on this site. I'm like, ooh, I really like this layout. I like how this is set up. Um, so I take a screenshot of that, and that's this guy here. Okay. So now I'm going to go over into Claude and I'm going to drag my screenshot in here. So go ahead and grab my code example. asset. And I'm going to say, write, create the HTML and CSS code so I can put this website block on my website. Now it should pop something called an artifact. An artifact is similar to, and so there it goes. It just pops this artifact. It's similar to ChatGPT's Canvas. Remember that Canvas was speak to the AI on the left, work with the document on the right. Claude has a similar feature. It's called artifacts. And so you can see, oh, it it totally missed this. Like this looks terrible. Let me see what it said here. I'll help you create a similar layout. So not good. I don't think that this is good. Let me show you just how different these AI tools can perform. And if I kept pushing on it right now, and I'm telling you, like one of the best one of the best things you can do with an AI system when you're asking it to create something is just say, make it better. That's it. Make it better. Right. And I'm going to tell it to do that. And while it's doing that, um, so basically, I'm basically saying like that was not good. Like, make it better. Let me show you how close it nailed it when I ran this as the test. I think I still have that in here. Here it is. So this is one shot. I gave it the image. I said, hey, and then at first it created something in React, and I said, no, 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 no. Create it in HTML and CSS over here. So then it created this over here. If I copy the content, so this is, if you're not a coder or a developer, I'm not either, but I know just barely enough to be dangerous with it. And I know that what it's done here is it's written some inline CSS here and the HTML to create this guy here. If I copy the contents of this, and let's just pop over to my website, and I'm going to create a new block in Divi. I use Divi here. And so I'm just going to create a code block, and let's see how well it did. Paste my code in there. And it got me pretty dang close. Like that doesn't look precisely like this, but I can start to work with the AI on the left side. Like I might take a screenshot of this and say, you got me close. Here's my version. Rebuild it, rewrite it. I don't think you matched the fonts right. But, and again, like this is early days for this kind of functionality, but this is coming. And this is what I mean by when I say magic wand, guys. It's a magic wand. You just take your magic wand and you say, hey, I want you to make this. You can see that it's still completely jacked this up. Um, but you're gonna see that AI tools over the next year are going to get so good at stuff like this where it's like, I just want you to recreate this block and it's going to nail it right in one shot. Uh, right now, a little bit early days. Okay, so one of the other things that I use AI for coding because I don't write applications. I'm not a coder, and I assume you are not either. But I might take a screenshot of something on my website that is bothering me, and I can't figure out how to change it. Screenshot it and say, "Do you see this thing here on the website?" And it's like, "Yeah." And it's like, "What's controlling that? Like, how do I change that?" Like, you can say, like, "I'm using WordPress." Um, you can tell it all kinds of context, and it will help you solve this problem. You can see that in here. Um, After I built this HTML CSS code, down here I said, how would I build this look in Divi on WordPress? Give me step-by-step instructions. And it basically walked me through because it understands Divi. Like it knows what Divi is. Divi is a theme. Like if you don't know any of this stuff, it's fine. Like, but if you do, if you're kind of like me, where you're like, I kind of understand what's going on here, the AI can help you solve those problems in a matter of minutes. And it's just gave me step-by-step instructions, including, all kinds of fonts and stuff like that that I would want to use. All right, that's code. Let's talk about data. So we're going to end up going about 10 or 15 minutes over time today. And if you got to jump off, that's fine. But like, if you're a Click Pro member, I have the recording will go in there. Uh, but I want to have the time to play around with all these things. So here's another place that I want to show you Gemini. Okay, so wow, this thing is still going. Or did it stop? There it goes. Wow. Okay. Now I could have a conversation with the AI about this training, right? Because it now has the audio file. In this over here in this AI, we gave it this audio file, remember? And I might say something like, do you see if I'm working on this training myself, like how do I make this training better? I might say, do you see any places where I could create graphics to better teach this process? Um, but the other thing I might do is I might want to use this because I want to create a 2025 marketing plan. So I might start to say to it like, okay, so what's the first step in creating this 2025 marketing plan? Walk me through it. It should be able to do that because it's gone ahead and watched my training or listened to my training anyway. It should be able to start to walk me through the process that is taught, assuming I did a good job of teaching this process. Um, the AI now understands this process. It's gone ahead and taken that into its brain. And it should be able to start walking me through. So I could ask the AI, like, hey, go learn this and then walk me through it. Like, let's go ahead and build a 2025 marketing plan together. Here's the transcript of a training that teaches how to do it. Does that make sense? Are you following along with what I'm saying? I've got a training here that teaches you how to make a 2025 marketing plan. I gave it to the AI. So now the AI understands that plan. And now I can just tell the AI, hey, let's build a plan based let's build a 2025 marketing plan together and uh, use the training to walk me through this. Now I'm going to go ahead and stop that. You can see it's starting to walk me through the steps, right? This is correct, by the way. Set up ChatGPT, open 3 or 2 instances of ChatGPT. This is precisely how I taught this training. I'm going to stop this conversation because I want to show you another piece of multimodality that launched in the last week or two that is so important for us guys, for us marketers. This is going to be important. It's going to be important in general to the population of humans on the planet, but this is very important for marketers. And it's again, you're going to see probably that it's kind of an early version of what this is going to look like in the next months, but definitely by the end of the year, this will be a massive thing. This is using, if you go to AI Studio, Google AI Studio, aistudio.google.com, and select the Gemini 2.0 Flash experimental model. So this is in preview mode or experimental mode or whatever, right? It's not completely launched yet. And that's partly why it doesn't work perfectly just yet. But what I want to show you is if you click on stream real time. So click on stream real time. Now you can do things like talk to Gemini, show Gemini, or share your screen. You can play with these other ones, but I want to demonstrate share your screen. This one lets you just speak directly to Gemini. As it turn on your webcam, it can see you. It knows what's going on in your scenery. Like you could ask it, like, what decorations do you see? How could I improve my Zoom background? I want to look more professional. Like, how can I improve my Zoom background? That would be Show Gemini here. But I'm going to go to share your screen. I'm going to have the output format be audio, but I can also change this to text. And the output format, so basically I'm asking the AI, like, I want to talk to you and I want you to talk back to me. If I switched it to text, it would be, I want to talk to you using voice and I want you to reply to me in text. So I'm gonna start with audio in, audio out, or voice in, voice out, and go to share my screen. And now I want to share this, and I'm
I
gonna.
understand. What is it that you want to mean?
Okay. So, Gemini, are you hearing me okay?
Yes, I am hearing you okay.
Cool. So what I'd like to do is take a look at this landing page here, and I really want to work on the contents of this landing page. Like, I want to make it better so it converts better. Um, what do you see on this page right
Certainly, it
now?
looks like you want to improve the content on the landing page to make it convert better. Is that right?
Right.
Okay, I see. Is there anything specific you'd like to discuss about the landing page?
Yeah, I mean, I think I like this headline, but do you see any ways that I could improve this headline?
Certainly. You're looking for ways to improve the headline. Master AI marketing in 2025 and save 30% this Cyber Monday. Do you have specific concerns about the headline, or would you like suggestions in general?
All right, so you can kind of see the demonstration here is that it can see my screen and it can make intelligent it can create intelligent conversations about it. I'm going to switch to stream real time. I'm going to go audio in but text out, and I'm going to ask um, the AI. I'm going to say share my screen. Gemini, are you seeing my screen okay? So what I'm gonna, so you can see it, it's replying to me here. So yes, I can see your screen. I'm gonna go ahead and show you Gemini the Inc 500 lists, and I'd like you to create a table with the rank, the company name, the 3-year growth, the industry, the state, and the city, and just as I scroll through here, just go ahead and create a table that contains all this data for me. Uh, I'm going to go ahead and scroll now, and you should be able to put that stuff into a table for me. Okay, so you can see how useful, you can see it missed a bunch of them here. Um, but I can definitely go back to Gemini and say, "Hey, you missed some. I'm going to scroll back up or whatever." But you can see the use case for the AI being able to see your screen. This is a very, very interesting feature that is connected to multimodality. It's AI vision capabilities. You could see me going here, for example, and saying, "Just write me the HTML and CSS." For this block. Like, I don't need to take a screenshot of it. The AI is watching my screen as I work. And if I'm working, I'm like, Gemini, I really like this code block right here. I want this exact block on my site. Write me the HTML and CSS for that real quick. And it's just going to write that code out. You copy it and paste it back over into your thing, and you've got this code block to start working with. So screen sharing inside of an AI system is coming. It's coming for all three systems, ChatGPT, Claude, and is already here with Gemini. And so play around with it because it's not perfect right now. But when it does become more and more useful, you want to be there, right? Because understanding these systems is what is going to really elevate you in 2025. It's the difference between you and people that are not attending sessions like this is literally like you are ahead of the curve. Like you are way ahead of the of this AI stuff. You're on top of what capabilities are here, and you're able to use it. You're AI trained. So the last one I'm going to do is data. So data has been something that the AI has been really good at for quite some time now. Um, so you can play around with this, Kathy Joe, without paying for Flash or for Gemini. So there's another capability that just rolled out with the Gemini Advanced, which is what you're paying for. If you pay $20 a month for Gemini, you have something called Gemini Advanced. This is not Gemini Advanced. This is just me working in aistudio.google.com where I can play around with the different models that they have. But if you want, uh, there's going to be for members of the Click Pro, we're going to do a training on Gemini right away in the new year. I think it's January 8th. We're going to take a really deep dive on Gemini Advanced. And there's a new feature called Google Deep Research. And it is insane. Like Google Deep Research is an important development in the business world and in the marketing world that I'll get into in uh, this Google Gemini training that we're going to do in the Click Pro. So, but you can play around with this. This is available to everybody. Let me show you data real quick. And when I'm working with data, I typically work inside of ChatGPT. So let's start a new chat here and let's drag our data file in here. So remember that the data file is all that wine shop. That wine shop. Let me see if I can pull that back up. Yeah, here we go. So just all this data about customer name, gender, age, marital status, and what were their sales at the wine shop? Like how much wine, craft beer, spirits, cheese, and total spending. Plus, are they in our wine club? Did they go to our wine tasting event? Did they come to the beer event? Did they come to the wine and cheese event? Yes or no? Right. So all that data is here, and there's thousands of or hundreds of lines here because we have lots of customers. But we want to derive some interesting insights here. How can we help grow this wine business with this data? And so if I go into this new chat and I just drag my data in here in an Excel file, or if I want, I can have it connect to a Google Sheet. That's one thing you can have. Uh, you can have ChatGPT add a folder or add a document from Drive. Claude has this capability now as well. You can just add from Google Drive. But let's take this data wine shop sales. And again, the first thing I'm going to do is test its capability. Does it really understand this file? So I'm going to say, hey, summarize, how about just give me 3 insights you find in this data? And again, this is just an initial question to see whether it's actually read the file. I know what's in there. I know what's in this file. If it starts telling me about cigars or it starts telling me all kinds of crazy stuff, it's hallucinated. Like it didn't actually ever look at the file. One of the things it's done here is it's given me these customers. I can kind of check that and I can say, okay, cool. Like, is Zoe my first customer? Like customer one? Yes, it is. She's a female. She's 43. And that's going to start to tell me like, okay, this thing has actually read this file or it is reading this file and knows this stuff. And I can actually look, you can scroll all the way through this thing. So now it's giving me some summary statistics here. It's giving me my top 10 spenders, customer 159 on line 158, Carmen spent $4,500 total. That's a good customer of ours. Attended the wine club, the beer event. Now, I might come back and say something like, let's say I want to really get into this top 10 spenders. because I have some data about these people, I can say, um, what do the top 10 spenders have in common? Do you see any trends? So if I want to find more people that will spend a lot more, like my top 10 spenders are, I might ask it, like, what are the trends among these top 10 spenders? And it says average age, 36. Average income is around $113,000. Higher ed, masters or above. Interesting. They spend heavily on wine, but they also spend significantly on cheese, indicating a potential cross-sell opportunity. Now, what if I was curious, because I'm a smart marketer myself? I'm kind of curious, like, do our top 10 spenders also often attend our events? Remember, we've also got data in here about our wine event, our cheese event, our wine tasting event. We had 3 events in there. Um, so are they also event attendees? Only 10% of our top 10 spenders attended the wine tasting event. 100% of the top 10 attended the beer event. Interesting. What the? 100% top 10 spenders attended the wine and cheese event. Interesting. Now, I might say, well, I know what happened there. The wine event, no one came to that thing. Like it rained that night, and so no one showed up or whatever. But I might be able to dig in here and figure out, like, okay, um, can we build a customer persona around our top 10 spenders? And so we might take this a step further. And again, I think I've skipped a few steps here where I would have done a lot more digging around. But you can see that eventually I might get to a persona and start to make some plans. Like, how do I start to reach more people like the indulgent connoisseur here? What are some marketing uh, tactics I need to employ? What are some campaigns I can run to create more top 10 spenders? So this is data, and just real quick, like I might say, create a create a chart that breaks down spending by education level. So another thing you can do with data is you can ask the AI to um, build graphics and charts and stuff like that. So all of these systems are going to be able to do this. I just tend to work inside of ChatGPT when I'm working with data, um, mainly because I think it's better than these other ones. But uh, you can absolutely come over here into Claude. You can use it, and you can use it over in Gemini as well. All right, cool. So text, image, video, audio, code, and data. These are our big 6 modes. And you can see these AI systems, they're all good at certain things and not so good at other things. Like uh, when it comes to output, Claude cannot create images. Claude will not create images for you. It just can't. Claude cannot connect to the web. Um, so I would say if you want to just kind of put a bow on this training, right now I feel like Claude is falling behind. Um, I think they will probably announce something fairly soon that will catch them up. But where I am using Claude the most is when I want to craft content, and I think it is a better writer than ChatGPT and Gemini. On the ChatGPT side, I'm over here a lot now. I'm over here a lot now because I might have Claude create some copy to start with, and then pop it over into ChatGPT and have it put it into that canvas thing that I showed you so that I can edit it and work with the AI at the same time. Um, I think Canvas is a major development for marketers. I think Canvas and what it's going to do, right? Where it's going, I think, where I see its possibilities going, I think is going to be an extremely important development. But I might have Claude create the content initially and then copy it and paste it over here and put it into a canvas and work with it. I'm increasingly intrigued with what's happening at Google with Gemini, particularly with uh, the new Flash model and its ability to see the screen and ability to see us and ability to talk with it, the voice capability in both ChatGPT and Gemini is very good. Like it's gotten better and better and better. And by the way, um, ChatGPT has also developed the ability for the AI to see. It can see. So if you open, for example, ChatGPT on your phone and go into advanced voice mode, you can turn on your camera and it can see. You can ask it things like, "Where am I?" and it'll take a guess at where you are, and a lot of times be right. You can show it things and have it investigate and look at things. So these developments are happening basically right before our eyes. And so I'm glad you attended this session. I hope you got a lot out of this one and understand more clearly what we mean and what the importance of AI multimodality is to you as a marketer to become a more valuable marketer and to make yourself just the obvious person to hire headed into 2025 because you get this stuff. Like you're understanding how do I leverage AI to get the most for my business, for the businesses I'm serving as a marketer. So hope you love that one. And we'll see you tomorrow. If you're going to be on that training tomorrow, keep an eye on your email. I'll be sending out a reminder about that. And we'll see you next time.